Hello there. Welcome to Pen Positive. This is Vinod Narayan. Thanks for tuning in. Today, I want to talk to you about my experience writing PMP exam. So PMP is Project Management Professional and it's part of the PMI organization. And I wrote the PMP exam and cleared it last week. So I thought maybe I'll make a video. I'll share some of my experiences studying for it and why I took that certification, and hopefully that might benefit some people. So I've been in the industry for quite some time. Around 15 years back, I decided to switch from a sales career to a project management, program management career, starting with some business analysis and then moved into focusing on building agile teams as Scrum Master, as Agile Program Manager, and then as Agile Coach. And that was good. Things were all fine till last year, 2023, I got laid off. Not just me. In that organization, the entire Agile group, from the VP down, everyone was laid off. And that actually made me question, are there other things that I need to learn? Should I take some certification that will expand my possibility for employment? So job searching included a bit of soul searching as well. PMP was never in my list of certifications because there was always this thought that PMP is traditional program management, project management, and the new way of doing things is agile. So I had a SAFE certifications. I had CSM certifications or Scrum Master certifications, SPC, the SAFE program consultant, so practice consultant. So that's also another certification that I had which enabled me to train other people as well. But PMP was never in my plan. I learned about PMP first time. So first time when I heard was probably in 2000. So I was working in Middle East and we were part of a large banking project, and I got introduced to a project manager in that particular program. And the person who introduced us, he said, this is so and so, and he has a PMP. And that's the first time I heard about PMP. And the person who introduced me to that project manager highlighted the PMP part. And 2000 was a time when there was not a lot of people who had a PMP certification, and it was considered that you need to take a PMP certification. It's always good. But I was in sales at that time, and I had absolutely no thought about moving to program management, and so taking a certification was not something that I wanted. Then fast forward to 2023. So I had been in different roles. I had done the career transition from sales to program management and agile. And I had also a few failed businesses in my credit. So I said, and you get laid off in 2023. That's that year. And market was pretty bad. A lot of people got laid off during that time. And some of the folks who got laid off with me started taking the PMP. They were planning for PMP. I called up a friend of mine who was very active in the PMI, and I asked him, what do you suggest? I wanted to take a PMP. So he had known me for quite some time, and I was even a speaker at one of the PMI chapter events. Though I did not have a PMP, I was there to talk about Agile. He said, why don't you try PGMP, that is Program Management Professional, which is a bit more a level up from PMP. But I was not confident that I could write a 4-hour PMP test with 175 questions and clear it. I did not think I will have the discipline to kind of study for it and write it and pass. So I said, not PGMP. Let me try PMP. So somewhere last year in August 2023, I did a mandatory training. So you need to take a mandatory training. So I found an online course and I did a mandatory training that cost me probably about 450 or $500 or something like that. $500. So I went ahead, did that mandatory training, and immediately after the mandatory training, I had been applying for jobs and I got the job that I'm currently in. And this has nothing to do with PMP. So I don't need a PMP. It was more related to agile and safe implementation and transformation. So then I completely, conveniently forgot about PMP. I got the job, then why should I write I did the mandatory course and I just left it there. But then 1 year later, I figured out that you have about a year to use that training so that you could go ahead and sit for an exam. And I started asking myself the question, should I do it? Should I not do it? It always takes some effort on our part to convince ourselves that this is important. That's when I read an article which said that as you get older, especially at a time when our attention span and focus and everything is being compromised, it is important for us to do things that challenge us, especially learning assignments. So this was also a time when I decided that if I'm going to read a book, I would read a book which is at least 300 pages, which is not easy reading, which will allow me to put some effort on my end to read and understand. And I thought maybe this is a way that I could actually challenge myself into a learning assignment and try writing the exam. So about 6 weeks back, I said, okay, let me do that. I registered for the exam and I started studying. So so I obviously have the material from the course that I did. And at that time, they had asked me to buy a particular book that I could use, which was a book by Rita Mulkey. So that's one of the most sought after book to prepare ourselves for PMP exam. I bought the book. It cost me about $90 or so. So now I'd become a PMI member, which gave me $100 discount in the exam. So I had already by then spent close to about $1,000 in that. And then I was wondering, what should I do? And I started reading from the book, and there was so much material. There was so much to read and memorize and think, and I started feeling very dejected. And I thought that, okay, right, I'm doing this to feel to feel uplifted after I pass the exam. And what if I fail? What would happen? Would I go through this guilt trip, blaming myself, feeling that I'm not good enough? And at this stage in career, every small negative thing that comes to you, you are reminded of all the failures that you've had in your life. So I was pretty confused when I started studying. That's when I looked at PMI, and someone told me that someone who had online, I started searching for videos, I started searching for articles, something that tells you how to study for PMP. And it's been almost 1 year since I went to the mandatory course, so I don't remember any of those things. And I started blaming myself. I should have probably finished off at that point of time when it was fresh with me. Now it's 1 year. What do I do? So I remembered a few things that I've heard from during the course, and also from what other people have spoken. One is that about 5 to 6 weeks of learning is focused learning. About 80 hours of learning is what people recommended. So if we're working, then that means that you spend a good amount of time during weekends and weekdays maybe. So I started looking at the book, but I was finding it very difficult to memorize all those things. And then another piece of advice that I got is that you need to do a few full-length tests, because one of the things that is more of a practice is 4 hours sitting in a room, not in one stretch. You have 2 breaks of 10 minutes, but sitting for 4 hours focused on answering questions and thinking through it, that can be very taxing if we are not used to it. Because I graduated about 30 years back from college. So after that, I've had done some tests as part of my career, but not this kind of serious education or exams. It's been mostly learning at work. Anyway, I said, let's give it a try. But I found that there is something called study hall that is available at the PMI website. It cost me about probably $70 for 3 months of access or something. It had a lot of reading material, learning material, but what it really had was that it had a lot of questions. I did my course with Knowledge Hut, so they also had given a lot of sample questions and everything. So I said, I'm not going to study and learn because that's going to be very difficult for me because, I said, let me go and start doing the tests. I started doing the test. There are small tests in study hall. There are a lot of questions that come as part of the Knowledge Hut as well. I was not getting things right. So if I do a 15 questions mini test, I end up getting about 50%, 56%, never more than 60. So what they say and what I heard is that you need to get consistently about 70% or up, then you are pretty good to think that you're good for the exam. But I'm not reaching anywhere close to 70. Very, very confusing. So what I started doing is that everything that I don't know, when I do a test and I know it is not the correct answer, I started capturing some of those points on a paper. Thought that I'll refer that, I'll study that. But then that studying was also not happening. So I was working full time. After work, I spent some time in the office, so I could. It was easier to actually study from the office rather than coming here. So some days I stayed late at office and tried to study, but it didn't work either. Then I said I started doing the tests one after the other. Every day I would, maybe a few questions, 15, 20 questions, I'd go through it. Then slowly, after about 5-6 weeks, and I had done 2 full-length tests. So one test I got about 65, then I got 73, and that was slowly getting my confidence up. And then at the same time, I was also having this question, I understand all these things, but if it is going to be something different, am I going to be able to attempt and pass? And I continued with that. So I said, there's nothing else I'm going to do. Just focus on answering questions and doing some more full-length tests. And the good thing, at least for me, is that PMI had changed the format of the test. What are the content that is there, or questions or areas of test. And they had added a lot of adaptive, which is the agile. So there's predictive and adaptive and hybrid. So they had added a lot of questions, situational questions that was associated with agile, iterative, Scrum, and adaptive model. So that kind of helped me because there was a lot of questions that was in the purview of what I did for work. Which also meant that there was a lot of questions, the answers which PMI said was correct, I did not fully agree. So this is one problem that you have when you have been in the industry for quite a long time and you have tweaked and used the frameworks and theory to suit your specific needs. And sometimes your thinking might not be exactly the same thing that someone would expect in when you answer a question. But I found a bit of the good thing that I felt is that PMI said that they don't mark a question with the same weightage. So sometimes there are few multiple choice answers to a question. There might be more than one right answer, or in one way they can say that there might be a best answer and then there might be a second best answer. So when I did the exam, there was times when you can actually put a comment. So there were times where I did not think that there was a right answer that was given over there. I thought that every answer was kind of not really correct. So I also put some comment over there. The reason was that I thought that maybe that would add value to the PMI organization, me being a PMI member, that would add value so that they could correct those questions and do it differently next time. 4 hours was really, really tough. I decided to go to a exam center rather than take it home, because one of the recommendations I got from the instructor was that better go to a exam center. Pearson had an exam center, and that'll be better than doing it at home, because if there is internet problem, anything like that, you will lose your time. I found out that I was not taking about all the 4 hours to complete, and by the time before the test day, before the exam day, I had done about 6 full-length tests, and I had spent a good amount of time. I didn't really calculate how long, but a good amount of time going through the questions, trying to see where I went wrong, and trying to understand the scenario and questions and why I gave a wrong answer when I could have given the right answer. So that was the most important learning exercise in my opinion. I went to on a Friday evening. I took off from office and went there, wrote entered and started the test. So you get 2 10 minutes breaks, and I did not take the break because I thought that there's a flow with which I am going. It was very difficult, but I think I sat there for about 3 hours, a little more than 3 hours. I didn't take the 4 hours. I was kind of confident when I wrote it, because I was never confident with any of the tests that I did. Even though I was getting the marks, when I finished the test, I was still having this kind of fear that maybe I did not do well. Maybe I won't get about 70% in the test. That's what I felt. But on the day of the exam, for some reason, I felt good when I completed. I thought that I think maybe I should have done well. And coming out, you immediately get a letter, and that says that from our evaluation, we know that you've passed, but within 48 hours, we'll send you an official letter. Then again, mind starts going into places. Okay, what if they find that they look at it and they find that it's not correct? The self-doubt is a big problem, and sometimes younger people who are listening to it might think that self-doubt is something that you overcome when you get older. I don't know. At least for me, there are many instances where self-doubt is something that it's like a constant companion for me. And I need to do these tests, and I need to do things to reinstate or revive my faith or my good feeling about what I can achieve and not. Anyway, so I finished that and I felt good about it. And one of the main reasons when I look at it to do the certification now is that when I did my job search, there was a lot of places where PMP carried a lot of weightage. Because it's been in the industry for quite a long time, the test is not easy. People have to put a lot of effort to study. And when I say a lot of effort to study, I don't want to sound as if it is very difficult and it's not achievable. Because I had put off not writing that test, writing the exam, not getting a certification for quite a long time, just because I thought it was tough and I did not want to put that effort. So anyone who wants to take PMP, I think that's something that you should try doing. If you have been in the industry for quite some time, I think their recommendation is 2 years, 3 years or something as project management. But if you have that experience doing that work, I think this could be good. I don't know if I had taken this certification 10, 15 years back, would that have given me more opportunities? I don't know. We cannot go back in time and change us. And what we know now is not what we knew back then. So there is nothing. All we have is here and now and what is ahead of us. In the past, whatever happened in the past, the only learnings from the things that we did correct and things that we did wrong. So I wanted to share that story with you all. Just that even if you think that something is not important, and if you find out at some point that it might add value to your life, to your opportunities in life and work, maybe we should just go and do it. Sometimes it's important for us to do what is difficult. I was reading Yuval Harari's new book Nexus, and as part of it, I was listening to one of his conversations, and he was saying that when AI comes, it makes things so easy for us that we will forget doing the difficult things. And I think it's important for us in the age of AI to do things that are not easy, are difficult for us, because that's how we can actually progress and use whatever little ability that we have into something that will make us a better professional, better person, whatever that is. So if you are planning to write PMI, I wish you all the best. I wish you all the success. And if you are contemplating whether you should write or not, I think you should. I think it adds value. If you have if you have been delaying it, thinking it is tough, I want to assure you, it is tough, but you are tougher. I leave you all. If you've not subscribed to the channel, do subscribe. And you can also listen to this as a podcast, Pen Positive Outclass. It's a podcast that is there on Apple Podcast and on Spotify and all those podcasting platforms. So choose your source of consumption, either podcast or this video. I'll see you all again. Really appreciate. I want to thank a few people. I want to thank Knowledge Hut for actually providing the training and the questions that they had, for PMI, for study hall, for what they had provided us the questions and the full length tests. Definitely to Rita Milky's book, because that did help me, even though I had not gone through that entire book, but it gave me a sense of reality that there are a lot of things that you need to learn. And I think that book, I don't consider that book as a waste, because I think that book is something that you can refer to even after that. It's not a book that is just, for example, if you're working in an organization and you have, say you're talking about risk management and how do you do it properly, I think that book is a good reference. I'll just share that book. I think I have kept it somewhere here. This is the book. So I think definitely this book is something that I will refer to in the future as well. And maybe someone else, my daughter or someone else, wants to write the PMP exam sometime, then the book is available as well. So I wish you all the best. And also to some of the friends that I spoke to, especially the friend at PMI chapter who told me that yes, go ahead. And also to some of my friends who got the PMP before me after our layoff, they called me and they told me that, and there is this friend, Jasper, who called me and said, Vinod, I want to tell you that I passed PMP, but I want to tell you that because I want to tell you that don't delay writing the test, because there's a lot about Agile. It will be easy. Please go ahead and study and do it. So I want to thank everyone, and I'll see you all again next video. Thank you.